It's a little bit ridiculous that it feels like there's about 8 guys that can single-handedly beat you on the Avs. Avs win over the New York Islanders 5-3.
Alex Newhook!
Oh boy.
Whoa!
The guy we are talking about for this one is, of course, Devon Toews, taking care of his ex-team, as is tradition in the NHL. At this point, the Avs have the most productive defense in the league by a wide margin, and there's a good chance that they have 2 players potentially finishing in the top 5 of Norris voting. So that's pretty good. And while both of those guys would get assists on the first goal, the real star of that one is, of course, Nathan MacKinnon, less than 4 minutes into the game. It starts with some hard work by the top line to win a puck back along the far boards. Mikko digs it out to get it to Mac. They get it back to the point and reset. And very quickly, you see Toews get this puck over to Makar. Makar steps up and drags Isles to him. That opens up enough space for Nathan MacKinnon to find a little bit of a lane here. He steps into it, but then just goes all world. As this puck comes to him, he has to reach behind his own body and drag it forward through the 5-hole of someone defending him. That's disgustingly good, and then he finishes the play. There's no amount of breaking down clips, looking at the defensive and offensive movements that can really change Nathan MacKinnon doing what he did in that play. He's just really good at hockey and does things that are beyond most people. And the story of the first 2 periods of this hockey game, where the Avs come out, they score a goal, and then they kind of back it off. It's not that they played poorly, they just didn't play all the way up to their potential. Do they end up getting away with that? Yes, they do. Do they make it harder on themselves than it had to be? Yes. Both things can be true. And honestly, a lot of this hockey game boiled down to a good bounce here and a bad bounce there. Just kind of how hockey flows sometimes. At the end of the day, I actually think the bounces evened out pretty decently. Obviously some big ones for the Avs, which we'll get to, but that's hockey. The Isles managed to even up the game halfway through the first, not technically on the power play, but immediately after one. Most of this goal is the product of the Avs' inability to clear this puck on the power play. They really did not do a good job of it for the entire thing. So as the Isles continue to keep playing and the Avs are exhausted, the shot that's fairly weak comes in from the point. Kale, unfortunately, providing a bit of a screen, maybe deflects off him. I still really haven't been able to tell, but Kemper doesn't see it, and it just slips right through him. A very bad goal. It's just not a great goal. You'd love to see a better effort from Kale to either block it or get out of the way, and even if Kemper did struggle to see that puck, anytime you get beat 7-hole, you want better. And kind of the reality of this game, Darcy Kuemper did not play very well. It's been a while since we've seen him play poorly, but since I referenced the Avs have plenty of dudes that can step up and win a hockey game for them, they can get away with one game where Kuemper doesn't play particularly well. The Avs get through the first 1-1, and then it's the same story in the second. Less than 4 minutes in, the Avs take the lead. You actually see a grade A opportunity from Makar here that ends up missing and going wide. It comes to Toews at the point, and we've seen Toews run the give-and-go play quite a bit. It's starting to become a little bit of a signature of his. It's what he does here. Berkey coming back to the point, coming into the puck, is going to find him, and his movement drags the Isles up just a little bit high and gets multiple players to commit. Anytime you have 2 players committing to the puck, danger is in the air. Toews recognizes it, just goes hard down the middle of the ice, and Berkey makes a great pass. He's going to go through the 5-hole of the person defending. Ridiculously good there. And then Toews shoots it far post. The perfect shot. He's got bodies in front. You just can't write it up any better than that. Everything about that is just a disgusting hockey play. It's just so much talent from everyone involved. You just have to tip your cap sometimes. And yeah, maybe there's some things you could adjust to play better, unlike Mac just being a freak, but it's high-level play, top to bottom, from Colorado. The problem is, the Avs give it right back in less than a minute later. While it's not a clean entry for New York, the puck just kind of dribbles the right ways that the Avs are never quite able to get to it, so it continues to float through and deep into the zone while the Avs are chasing a bit. Eventually, this puck comes through. It looks like Girard maybe gets a piece of it, and that's actually to the detriment of the Avs. It just floats through a number of skates and sticks all the way to the far side, and now, obviously, the Avs are in trouble. You'd like to see maybe a little bit more urgency from the Avs to get on a puck, get a stick on it or something, but it's a lot of good bounces for New York there. This is the part of the game where the nonsense really starts ramping up. Yes, you have the Avs making mistakes, turning over pucks in the defensive zone and otherwise, but you're also having every bounce go New York's way. Their pucks are landing perfectly on their sticks, everything is just clicking for them while it's not for the Avs. And the Avs left their foot off the pedal for a little bit too long. I'm not trying to erase the Avs' mistakes here. They definitely could have stepped it up faster, better, harder, stronger, however you want to put it, and they didn't. That let the Isles get the lead in this hockey game. Extremely messy, this entire play from the Avs defense. As the Isles have three guys out high, you get into this weird situation where Berkey goes to the high man, but the Avs don't have anyone coming out high, and eventually it's Sam Girard, the defenseman, that has to come out high and play the puck. So you're left with this weird situation where it's Nathan MacKinnon defending net front, and that doesn't lead to good things. The puck comes out high, the shot comes in, the initial save gets made, or maybe it hits Nathan MacKinnon. It's not exactly clear, but the puck drops right down onto the ice for an easy one for Palmieri to smack home from there. MacKinnon did not do a great job of winning the positional battle in front, and both defensemen entirely out of this play. While they are taking a man, it's usually on the defense to clear out that net front area, and the Avs are trailing. The thing about hockey is it's an imperfect science. Yes, the Avs struggled, but on the other end, they also had what was nearly a 2-minute long shift with the fourth line in the offensive zone where they dominated possession of the puck. They just couldn't score. And the reality is, there's another team out on the ice trying to prevent the Avs to score. Even with all their talent, even with all the quality play they're capable of, other teams are good at hockey too. The reality of the matter is the Avs trail 3-2 heading into the third period. Obviously a position they're fairly familiar with this season, and the result was no different this time. The Avs get on the power play and are able to convert pretty early on, once again in the third. Avs starting all three periods quick. We've seen the Avs incorporate this on the power play a lot lately. Mikko over to Kale on the far side, and they look for that redirect pass to the middle with Kadri. They actually hit it nicely, but Kadri sails it just wide on the far side. It skips in behind the net. Landy tracks it down, goes and gets it, and just tries to throw it in off of Sorokin, and it works out perfectly. It ends up going in, you can't see it from this angle, off the glove and into the net. It just barely rolls in. Landy gets the Avs where they need to go. That's what a captain does. So you get it back to tied, and the reality is, in this third period, most likely, next goal wins. Well, for all the puck bounces the Avs that didn't get in the first two periods of this game, they got the one that mattered at that point. This game was literally millimeters from being 4-3 Islanders, and they only have themselves to blame for it not. Had this gone in, this would be a terrible goal for Kemper. It's a very visible shot, doesn't get deflected or anything, coming right into Kemper's body, but it somehow squirts through him, goes off the post behind him, and then off of his butt. We'll show you the overtop angle for the rest. So here's the overtop angle. It is hit off Kemper and is now coming back out and across the goal line here. It is trickling towards the goal line, and just as it looks like it's about to cross, a couple of things happen. First of all, you can track it all the way in. You never see white between the puck and the goal line, and this is actually Anders Lee's stick. He's trying to score this puck, and unfortunately for the Isles, he reaches in, swipes at it, and it knocks it out of the net. So the Avs owe Anders Lee a beer, I guess. That puck didn't go in. What should have been a crushing blow to the Avs' momentum actually gives them more than they could have ever imagined, and they go down and get the next goal. Sometimes better to be lucky than good. A nice keep in the zone for Kadri. He gets it over to Berkey, creating what should be a grade A chance, but Berkey can't find the one-timer. He has to reload on it, and he does end up scoring on it, but let's take a look. On the release, Berkey tries to go 5-hole on Andy Green, and he gets a little bit more than he bargained for. Puts this one directly off of Andy Green's cup, getting it to redirect down onto the ice and into the net. You take the nut shot when you get it. And that's the difference in the hockey game. Two massive bounces go the Avs' way, and they end up taking the W. Eric Johnson, the man to throw it into the empty net to make it 5-3. Was it pretty? No. Did it have to be? No. You don't need A-plus goaltending when you have a 6-point night out of your defense, not to mention a multi-point night for both Kadri and Burakovsky. Do you want better goaltending? Yes. Do you want better depth scoring? Yes, but the reality is, a lot of teams don't get those things every night. It's about finding ways to win, and the Avs are doing that at an unprecedented rate at this point. So unprecedented, my dog is loving his chew toy. The Avs understand the moment. They had 22 shots in the first 2 periods of this game. Coming into the third down one, they put up 21 shots in that period alone. They just are that good. I understand the playoffs are a different animal, and we'll get there when we get there, but in the regular season, I don't think anyone can stop this team. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and my dog really does love his chew toy.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the dog and Gabe the babe. The fun isn't over yet. It is Avalanche time.